What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is not the Philly Talk podcast. We are here back at it again with Goat Talk. It seems like we just got off the Goat Talk
Right.
podcast, but that's what we're going to be doing for y'all. Weekly episodes. LB, the news just dropped. We knew Bradberry was most likely going to be out, right, due to the concussion protocol short week. But there was hope for guys like Blankenship and Kenneth Gainwell, who had rib problems. Find out today it's official. They are out. What's your immediate thoughts?
My immediate thoughts is, next man up. In terms of safety, I'll go by the positions that are out. In terms of safety, we've all been optimistic about Sidney Brown and what he could possibly do if given a larger role. So I'm excited to see what Sidney Brown can do. It's rare that you get to see on the second game of a season, what one of your top draft picks can do. So I'm optimistic there. Now, people been screaming for Swift. We're going to see what Swift can give us versus what Kenneth Gainwell, they think Kenneth Gainwell didn't give us. First of all, I think Kenneth Gainwell had a decent game. Given the conditions and given the play calling situation, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm excited to see about Job. He arguably won the game, with a great push out of bounds, against a wide receiver who was open on a great throw by Mac Jones. He just couldn't get his feet down because Job was in the vicinity to force him out of bounds. Played the sideline pretty well on that play. So I'm optimistic about the three guys that are going to take their place. Now, where I kind of get fuzzy about is, who are behind those guys. Because, it rolls downhill and other guys have to get elevated. So, with Swift taking over Gainwell's position, I expect Penny to be elevated. With Sidney Brown, they're going to rotate safety. So it's going to be Sidney Brown, Edmonds, and how am I forgetting his name? Evans. Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm forgetting his name. Sidney Brown's Evans. You know what I mean? So those guys are going to rotate. That's not a strong core, if you ask me. That's not the best core, but it is what it is. And in Job, maybe we see a little Eli Ricks if Job is getting exposed or whatever the case may be. But this is the time for the guys in the front seven to really produce. You know what I mean? Is Nakobe Dean going to play?
No, Nakobe Dean's on IR.
Oh yeah, he's on IR. So then you got a new guy also coming into the fold from the linebacker position.
Nicholas Morrow, most likely.
I thought he should have made the roster anyway, but we get to see what he has in a larger capacity. So I'm not really too worried about the guys replacing. I'm just worried about the guys that got to come behind the guys that are replacing, because that's where depth comes into play.
Yeah, and you never know. Like, you start out week one with some injuries. Who's to say it doesn't trickle into week two? So depth behind each position is important. That's why it was important we had who we have behind the guys who just went out now. As it pertains to Kenneth Gainwell, I agree. I think he did okay, right? I think the Patriots just won up front as it pertains to their run fits. However, I'm not here to argue Swift is over Gainwell over Swift. I'm here to argue you don't give the man one carry. You know what I mean? Like, you can treat it like even Miles Sanders last year allowed Kenneth Gainwell to get 5 to 6 carries a game. You know what I mean? So if the coaching staff want to treat it like a Miles Sanders Kenneth Gainwell thing, that's one thing. But they treated it like Swift was Boston Scott. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And so I think you need to get him involved a little bit more, regardless what his role will be entirety. To Sidney Brown and Josh Jobe, definitely hopeful for them. Blankenship led the team in tackles week one. You really don't want that coming from your safety position, right? You want your linebackers to lead in tackles, but it's neither here or there. So we don't got a lead tackling linebacker. We lose our lead tackling player on defense. And then you lose your captain in Nakobe Dean. The defense has a lot of adjusting to do, because we were coming into this game with semi questions of our DC, semi questions of the middle of the field, semi questions all through with the miscommunication. Now we're adding 3 more new dudes, right? So the dudes who were taking ones with Sean Desai all off season couldn't get the communication down, left multiple receivers wide open. Now you got guys who are coming in even newer via reps with the one. So communication got to get down. And say what you want about Cousins, right? Thankfully, it's a primetime game, right? Say what you want. Say that they lost to the Bucks. They had 3 turnovers and still only lost by 3. They were slinging the rock. They moved the ball up and down on the Bucks. They just couldn't take care of the ball. So this is an offense that right now, second in the league in passing, small sample size, only 1 game. But our defense is going to be pressed to the limits just because of what we saw week 1 with our starters. And now we're 3 guys down in the defensive side of the ball.
Right. I agree with everything you said. And then not only do you lose Reed Blankenship, who led the team in tackles, he was wearing a green dot after N'Kobe Dean went out.
So now you're going on to your third green dot.
Exactly. I think it's going to end up being Christian Ellis. I think he's going to end up starting because I think when N'Kobe went out, Reed and Christian Ellis was wearing the green dot for the remainder of the game. So I think your starting safeties are going to be Christian Ellis and probably Zach Cunningham, who I think Zach Cunningham will get better with more reps. He just tried to fill out his role or understand his role. But we did sign a linebacker as well. He can't cover. I looked at the tape on him. He's not like the best guy, in coverage situations. So yeah, the biggest thing is the communication piece. And I feel like, the only way to mask the deficiencies that we really do have is if the defensive line feasts. And the defensive line has the opportunity to feast this game because I believe they got 3 guys who really didn't practice this week on their offensive line. Their offensive line is a little beat up. And they got one probably going to miss the game anyway. So I feel like, Jalen Carter and those guys got to get after Kirk Cousins. I looked at the tape from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game and the Vikings game, and they were all over Kirk Cousins. They did a lot of disguise, and there's things you could do. And I don't know if any, and some stars on that Bucs defense still, but we got the personnel to disguise and do things and be creative and getting pressure at Kirk Cousins, who's an absolute sitting duck. You know what I mean? So you can. This is a winnable game. It's not like you're shorthanded going against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. But as much as I believe we still have the personnel to get it done, but like I said, we're stretching thin on the 3 new replacements.
Right.
This in this quick of a turnaround. Like, it's different if we have Sunday. If the game is Sunday, you got this much more time to game plan with your newbies, and it's going to be a tall task. But I totally agree. The front 7 got to get home. The front 7 got to be the dominant group on the field. They got to take over this game. I believe they got it in them as long as we're not playing back and allowing Kirk Cousins to dink and dunk. They're coming in with TJ Hawkinson, a top 7-ish tight end. Jay Jettas is going to get you if you slouch a little bit. And then Addison, Osborne, right? They got some nice receiving pieces on this team. And so it's a true test to me just of the next man up mentality, how deep we are on defense, and what Sean Desai can do after a semi-suspect performance, especially with the communication on the field. I kind of got to give blame to the players a little bit, but more to him. Like, once the first 2 bad communications, you got to say, like, look, the next time we're on the sidelines, I'm chewing y'all out, right? Like, if it's their mistakes, you got to do something about it. You can't allow it. You saw the body breakdown. We both talked about it. It was multiple ones, and that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. You just see 316 for Mac Jones. But if you go back and take that 32, that 42, that 25, that 32, Mac Jones, when we played our defense looked good. You know what I mean? There was some bright spots in there, minus the pick 6. We came up with a crucial sack and a crucial stop from a new starter, Josh Jobe, as you spoke about, to open this up. So there's some pieces. There's no way we should go in here head down like that. We're still favored. We are home. It's the opener. We're the better team still. We just got to put the stuff together that we didn't really put together week 1 with a lesser crew, but still the Philadelphia Eagles.
Exactly. And I think some of that responsibility is solely on the offense as well. Like, sustain some long drives, get some first downs and things of that nature. It's not going to be raining tomorrow, to my knowledge. You know what I mean? It should be dry. It should be nighttime and the sun is not going to be out. Go out there and remind people of who you are real quick. You know what I mean? I'm not really upset with the performance. There was a lot of rain up and down the East Coast. You know what I mean? A lot of rain. You know what I mean? And Mac Jones, it took Mac Jones 50 passes to get 300-something yards. So, you know what I mean? I'm not really upset with the performance. I understand we have a new defensive coordinator. I understand we have a new offensive coordinator. But just some of the play calling and situations was questionable. But I still feel like the Philadelphia Eagles, you know what I mean? They didn't play preseason. They just looked a little rusty. I'm cool with that. If you could not play preseason and still go into Belichick's house, who had all summer to game plan for you, put up 25 points and win in an ugly game, I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at that. What I am mad at is just the lack of preparation and common sense that I'm already seeing from the coaching staff. Like, why isn't Penny active? Tell me what sense do that make? If you know that you're going into a grounded pound situation, or if you know you're going into a heavyweight fight, why you don't got your heavyweight? Yeah. And why, you know what I mean? Why you don't got your heavyweight and you give Swift 1 carry? Probably the biggest back on the roster gets 1 carry. You know what I mean? Now listen, Gainwell did well. 74 yards from scrimmage, 54 rushing. 20 receiving, caught all 4 of his targets. I'm not mad at that. But that was a game that calls for a bruiser, a thumper. You know what I mean? I would have rather much see the ball be in Penny's belly than Jalen Hurts with all these design QB draws. You know what I mean? What's the difference between running a QB draw with Jalen Hurts and running one with Penny? Come on, man. Just make it make sense. Some things just didn't make sense, but some things are just football. We got to tighten a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now we can harp on the Dallas Goedert, only 1 target, 0 catches, but we saw this play out last year with Smitty, and then he went, top 10 1,000-yard receiver. So I ain't really mad at that. It's a mistake. Get it better, right? You need Brian Johnson to draw some things up for Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts to keep him in his mindset, which he will do. But like you said, the Swift thing just caught me off guard. Like he was on the field 19 times, right? The discrepancy was 41 snaps for Kenneth Gainwell, 19 for Swift. So Kenny G got a little bit more than double. I'm not mad at this discrepancy, but the 19 times that he was on the field, you chose to just disregard him being on the field as a possible weapon. Like only 1 carry. You can't get a guy going off of 1 carry. So,
but this is also the thing though. It's a lot of guys. It's only 1 football.
True.
People fail to realize that it's only 1 football, and AJ got 10 targets and Smitty got 10 targets. You know what I mean? The Philadelphia Eagles threw the ball more than they ran the ball. You know what I mean? When was the last time we could say that? These guys believe in Jalen Hurts' arm. So the way I feel like they believe in his arm and the way that he's shown that he can make every throw on the field, based off what we saw in the Super Bowl, that it's going to be games like that where running backs really don't get fed, but they really got to capitalize. They got to capitalize in the passing game. You see, Jalen Hurts is taking what the defense gives him to an extent. And if he sees Gainwell under there, he's dumping it down. Then you work after the catch. You know what I mean? It might not be a lot of handoffs this year for a lot of guys, man, because it seems like Brian Johnson rather run Jalen Hurts, a $250,000 quarterback, than run a running back. Now, it don't make sense, but, what the hell you go get Penny for if you're not going to run the ball and be physical behind this offensive line? Everybody said this, Mike. Swift behind this O-line. Penny behind this O-line. But we running Jalen Hurts behind this O-line.
This O-line.
I don't like it, Mike. I ain't going to sit here and act like I don't like Brian Johnson or that dude right now decide. I don't like either one of them right now. I'm just keeping it a beam, man.
Yeah.
They stink right now, man. They got to tighten up. It's only week 1. That's why I'm calm. They stink, though.
Definitely microscope on these guys going forward. I don't believe in anybody losing their job off of 1 game. Whether it's like I said in my video, say they came out and called the perfect game. I'm not going to say, let's sign these guys 10 years off of 1 game. Same way I'm not going to say fire, but I am agreeing with you in the sense that these guys definitely laid an egg their first time at bat. And totally agree with, look, again, 25 carries. If you're running the ball 25 times, listen, if Swift would have came out with 6 carries, I ain't mad at the game, but 25 carries, 1 for Swift, it just don't add up right. But I do want to ask you, how do you feel going against this Vikings defense, which, let me say this real quick, they don't really got the personnel on the field. Like, they don't got the corners. They don't got the guys to match up with what we could do on offense when all things are clicking, right? Whether it's running the ball, passing with our dynamic weapons, Goedert, Smitty, and AJ, right? But guess who the DC is for the Vikings? That Vikings DC that was trash last year, the Vikings had the same DC for like the last 2 to 3 years. They finally fired him, and now they got Brian Flores as the DC, which is a Bill Belichick disciple. If he's watching the tape, watch what Bill Belichick did a little bit, right? He can't just run it back to us. We should have now the adjustments to beat up on what Belichick showed us, but the tape is out, right? A lot of blitzing, a lot of zone coverage, a lot of drop-off coverage. But we're going to get to Bill Belichick disciple. Don't got the same cogs as Belichick has on defense. But how do you feel about Brian Flores coming into Philly trying to get the Vikings their first dub?
He just lost to Baker Mayfield. He could you know what I'm saying? He couldn't stop Baker. So I ain't worried about no Brian Flores. And you know what? They didn't even get a lot of pressure on Baker. I think did Baker get sacked? I think he got sacked probably twice, but the pressure rate was ridiculous, and it was in favor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, they don't have the personnel up front. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have 2. It's good that you can have a great defense, but if you give a quarterback time, you know what I mean? I think Jalen Hurts is going to be able to sit in that pocket a number of times and just scan the field and make the best throw possible. And we got guys that, you can't cover for that long. So I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I got Jalen Hurts probably throwing for like 350 in this game.
I definitely got him coming out too, making it like a statement game for this offense.
Right.
Real quick, Jung Money with the $2 super chat. He said thoughts on Goedert not getting love. I touched on it, saying that it's not ideal him not getting the love in week one, but we saw this story before. Hey, Smitty ain't complaining at the end of the season when he was 9th in receiving. So Goedert has a lot of time to make it up, and he will. The connection from him and Jalen is good. We saw that last year. Do you have any ill will towards it?
I don't have any ill will towards it, man. I just think people just phrase things wrong, and you know that could be annoying as much football as I have to consume during the week. People are saying Jalen Hurts missed Dallas Goedert. When you miss somebody, you throw him a bad pass. You missed the pass. You know what I mean? When a guy doesn't get the ball, it doesn't count as a miss. I think Jalen Hurts just was targeting Smitty and AJ more. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a game where AJ and Smitty both had, 10 targets in the game. You know what I mean? He was throwing the ball to his 2,000-yard receivers. Like Goedert is definitely going to get his. And, I think that this is a perfect game for Dollar to get his because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a lot of crazy openings last week up the seam against that Minnesota Vikings defense. You know what I mean? I think Goedert should definitely go off. We should start seeing the tight end screen more as the season go on. So I'm not really worried about it. But, for as much as we threw the ball, you know what I mean? I feel like more receivers should have had touches. I will say that, though. And Goedert is one. We threw the ball like what? 33 times.
33 times.
I feel like Goedert should have been, a bit more of a recipient, even on some small stuff. But it is what it is, man. There's only one football. It's gonna be games where Smitty get 2 targets or 3 targets. It's just how the game goes sometimes.
Yeah, looking at what the Vikings did defensively against Baker Mayfield, I want to see real quick, right? So they only gave up 173 yards passing. So again, on paper, and this is a small sample size because you're judging them what they've done all year in one game. So it's a 1-game sample size. It's pretty unfair to do that because right now it looks like the Eagles offense stinks and the Vikings offense is the second best in the NFL, which will even out as the season goes on. However, they did shut down Baker Mayfield, right? The score says the Bucs won, and it came out because 20-17, which is a 3-point ball game. And you know as well as I do, if one team has 0 turnovers and the other team has 3, you should beat that team by 10 plus, right?
Right. I agree.
And so the Vikings turned up over 3 times compared to the Bucs 0, only won by 3. And it's because of the turnovers, because Baker Mayfield threw for $170 and they only rushed for 73. So the Vikings defense under new DC Brian Flores, who don't got household names at corner, at on the defensive front, except for, I think, Darnell Hunter. He's the only one that registered a sack against the Bucs. They don't have household names, but they did a great job on that Bucs offense who has Godwin, Evans. Baker's not throwing in the ball, so that's a downgrade right there. But I do think Brian Flores at least showed that he's made this Vikings defense more capable. And again, we're talking about 1-game sample size, so you really can't build it up or break it down as much because could it have been a lucky game? Just like how our game was we rusty as heck. We're not going to be averaging total offense of 25th in the league, 24th in the league. We're going to be one of the best offensive teams in the game like we were last year as things mellow out. I just think that this game presents its own set of challenges just due to the adversity of coming off a Super Bowl, right? The rustiness from week 1 and now the injuries and play calling, which we're going to have to, I'm not going to say overcome the play calling. The play calling got to meet the players. You know what I mean? Players got to be ready. Play calling got to be ready. But it's hard for me to just act like everything's going to be beautiful because of what we saw from Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. So I agree with you with they stink right now, but it's just so small. Like week 1's, do you think Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to come out and keep laying 3-point gooses? You know what I mean? Do you think you don't think the Bengals offense is going to get right eventually?
No, yeah, I agree. The Bengals offense is definitely going to get right eventually. You know what I mean? My thing with the Eagles defensive coordinators is the strongest thing that Desai had was personnel. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's the strongest thing you had because you could put Slay anywhere on the field. Slay still got to get that pick and have the awareness to run it back and get you on points. You know what I mean? Sean Desai got to really, he got to really use his talent to the best of his ability at this point because from the beginning of the game, we've been saying this all summer. We all knew who should have been starting back there at safety. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have taken an injury to get Sidney Jones on the field, man. It should be made the best
Sidney
guy
Jones,
win.
Sidney Brown.
Sidney Brown, yeah,
Don't
right.
remind us of Sidney Jones.
It shouldn't be that difficult to get the guy on the field. What has Evan shown that says he should play over Sidney Brown? Because he got a longer tenure in the league. That's what we keep doing here now. I knew Gainwell was going to be RB1. Remember, I've been saying that all season. I say Gainwell will start this season. I didn't say that because Gainwell is, I think, more talented than Swift. I said it because I know my organization. They're going to play the most tenured guy, but especially because Gainwell just, came off of that, that good Super Bowl run. He made some moves for us in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Evans has not shown anything close to what Sidney Brown has shown in preseason, probably in his career. And why is he starting more than it? Just doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is, man. I don't trust our coaching staff right now. I trust Brian Flores more, but at the end of the day, shutting down Baker Mayfield ain't hard.
Yeah,
Baker, that's not really hard.
Yeah, Baker's starting to be that journeyman type career. I just look at it like this, I think the coordinators are starting to feel, just hearing them speak, right? Like, I like a coordinator that comes out and just takes full accountability. Like, I don't like the sugarcoating and stuff. And I listened to a decent amount of it. And it was almost like I was kind of getting like cringe listening to him say, like, I wanted Sean Desai to say the communication was bad. But he said like a bunch of other things that kind of went like ring around the rosies, a pocket full of posies. No, the communication was bad. Say it, right? And same vice versa. Like, Brian Johnson was like, yeah, they pretty much like, yeah, we don't want to be stuck. We don't want to go 4 drives without a first down. Well, what do you think made that happen? We just don't want to go that way, and we're gonna correct it. Well, tell us what's really going on. You don't gotta throw anybody under the bus, but just be a little bit more upfront, especially as a young coordinator.
You know what I mean? These guys are new to this, man. Desai not even new. It's just they're so. This is a bigger market than from where Desai came from in terms of NFL football. Brian Johnson is brand spanking new to this. He don't even know the correct. I didn't even watch the interview because I didn't want to get mad. You know what I mean? Mike, I didn't want to get mad, Mike. So I didn't watch neither one of their pressers because I'm highly disappointed in the product that I seen because the play calling was trash and not being prepared. You had all summer, and this is what you put out on the field. You had all summer, and your defense don't know. Guys are just unaccounted for. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins will kill us if we come out here like this next week. Mac Jones just almost did it. So, I didn't really listen to the press conference because they're not ready to talk. They're not going to give us the robot answer. The robot answer is, well, we didn't do enough to make those plays. Then you go into the next question. You ain't got to get down to the X and O's, but they're not even ready for the robot answers. They don't even know how to control the crowd yet. They don't know how to control the noise. They're scared. They need to tighten up, man. Or I don't even want to say it.
Yeah. Look, I can't be calling. Look, I can't call for
I ain't calling for the job. I'm just saying they trash right now. You know what I mean? Your day one was trash.
Until
that's all I'm saying. Right.
Yeah.
And so look, on the job is trash.
My honest thoughts right now, like the day before the game, I really wish week 2 was a Sunday game so I can give them, we can all get like a full woosah. But again, we're coming off a win, and I do like the resiliency of the guys. Brandon Graham spoke about it a little bit, right? Like, being on the field with all the hype that the offseason got, right? Like, the players responding, whether we look at the defensive side or the offense a little bit with some adjustments in the second half, I'm going to respect that. I do agree with some of the chat's been saying and on my comment section, right? It was like another preseason game, not purposely, but it ended up being like that. I totally agree. And that's why, as much as I discredit and say, as you said, I can't fire these guys yet, but I'm like, man, they got to show me something. They're on my not so good list. All that being said, when I look at this Eagles team and I know what we still have, pieces, like our offense can still be dynamic. The defense took a big hit with losing your second best cornerback, your best safety, and your best linebacker. That is a chunk. Take the second best corner, best linebacker, and best safety off of each team, and that fan base is gonna be like, dang, we hurting for this next game, right? That being said, this is where the coaching staff can show we got you, right? The depth. This is a Super Bowl contended team. We're not always going to be healthy. We were supposed to build this team with some quality depth. We going to see if we did it. We were supposed to replace the coordinators with some quality coordinators. They made a mistake. They gave us an egg week 1. If we're gonna give Hurts the pass for missing some wide receivers, we're gonna give Lane and Mulata passes for getting beat. These guys don't get beat, and they got beat by the Patriots. Some one-on-ones they got beat. We're gonna give, the miscommunication a pass. We got to give a quick pass to the offensive coordinator. It's a short pass. It's a hall pass. It ain't a day. Right. It ain't a day pass. It's a hall pass. But we gonna see what this team is about. I just feel like knowing what the Eagles can do on offense. You said it about 15 minutes into it. The D-line got to step up big time to help out the middle of the field, the back end, and the cornerbacks. But the offense got to do it. I think if we win this game, which I'm going to have us winning, we're going to have to shoot it out a little bit. We might have to shoot it out a little bit. And the offense got to be able to go toe-to-toe. We're going to need Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. I believe so.
I think, yeah. And you know what I mean? And he's very capable of doing it. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that people can't account for. Like if he could beat you with his arm, and that's what he's gonna have to do. Because every year everybody's gonna try to take away him running the ball. They're gonna make him beat, that's what you should do. Make him beat you with his arm. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to respect him two ways, but Brian Johnson gotta call good plays too, man. He gotta call good plays. Like the play calling in the red zone was even abysmal. We get to the red zone. It was some situation we was in. He comes out, he's just garbage, bro. Like I can't even fake it. He's somewhere around the red zone. He just run twice. No, we need it. It just was bad, man. It just was bad. But it was a lot of bright spots. It was a lot of bright spots in the game. You know what I mean?
That was the catch biggest from AJ Brown. That was a catch. That was a catch,
bro. That was a catch.
That was a dime.
That was a catch. It definitely was a dot. It was on the money. It just took us too long to get warmed up, I feel like. You know what I mean? All that stuff, all the bright spots really came in the second half. We went up 16-0. We couldn't maintain it. Guys didn't know their assignments. But I feel like when it was time to win the game, we went out there and won the game, and our key guys made plays. And that's what you need ultimately to go far in this league. During the course of the season, you need key guys that make plays. But I will say this. I think my guy Wingman dropped it as a super chat. That not playing preseason thing definitely got to stop, in my opinion, because we just can't keep coming out flat like this. Every game counts. And, the only thing, the biggest bright spot is that we won. And I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have to really have a hard look in the mirror next offseason and say to themselves, is it being scared of injury? Is it that important? You know what I mean? It's in terms of coming out rusty.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's get to both super chats real quick. Bald Eagle Guy podcast with the $20 banger. He said, legends giving us the news. Hit that like button, subscribe. Better than ESPN. I said what I said. By the way, I almost fired our coordinators. Get it together, right? Yeah, like, look, in the back of your mind, you could be thinking like fired, right? But we're also talking about week 1 of a 17-week season. Gotta let it marinate a little bit, but microscope is out, right? Like now, because of week 1, something that I will let slide in week 2 and 3 is going to be more judgmental. We're going to be on our toes, judging them a little bit more harsh now as things don't go our way. And again, you're coming off a Super Bowl season. We were talked about with a deep roster, right? Now injuries are affecting us a little bit. The coordinator's got to overcome. A Bald Eagle Guy podcast, we appreciate you. He said hit that like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Hit the like on wherever you're watching this. LB stream, Philly Mike stream, hit that like.
Yeah. It's a Giants guy in the chat talking about y'all boys are in hot water with these injuries. Y'all just took the worst loss in NFL history. I mean, everybody, it's like, well, we're the hunted in all situations. Everybody trying to poke fun at us having supposedly a slow start. Bro, y'all, one more y'all like the Felder was the first team to do a lot of things in one game that hasn't been done in the whole season. Right, ever. You should go be a Jets fan.
Bro,
Zach Wilson will be better than y'all.
Yeah, that's crazy. Green Wingman with the $5 super chat. LB was talking about it. He said this comes of the follow-up. LB does not playing the starters in the preseason contribute to the product looking bad with the coordinators. Yeah, here's my thing. The coordinators got some time in the preseason, although they called it kind of vanilla-ish, right? But the coordinators got some play calling, got some live action with some of the backup guys, not so much the starters. Last year, we did play the starters for only a drive or two. I don't think a drive makes or breaks Um, but look, at this point, Nick Sirianni's seeing how everything kind of just held itself back. You definitely got to consider playing some more in the preseason, doing something different, because we came into the season healthy. Week 1 got nicked up, right? Fletch is limited. We'll see where if Fletch goes or not. Now we're pretty deep at the D line position, so if he needs a game off, it's not the end of the world. I think that Bradberry and Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, that's a lot all in one at one time, right? It's not like you lose a corner, you get to bring in your young corner and let him play with a nice safety and a linebacker, and you lose your linebacker. You lost them all in one game.
I agree, man. It could be tough replacing 3 guys, man. I just hate the term vanilla defense, or we ran a vanilla offense. I hate, Mike. I'm starting to hate it already. It's because it's so vanilla, nobody knows it. Apparently, you know what I mean? Nobody knows it. Guys were lost, bro. If these players come out here lost again this week on Thursday Night Football, Kirk Cousins is going to have his way. You know what I mean? In my opinion, this should not be a close game. I just don't think this should be a close game. I think we should beat these dudes up at home. I really feel like that. And if guys come out here lost,
prime time,
that's what I'm saying.
To make mistakes,
right? Now, I'm not saying we gotta go crazy 35-3. I'm not saying the game should be that lopsided, but we should not be stressing during this game. This game should be over by the third quarter, in my opinion. The only way it won't be is if the offense is still confused with bad play calling and personnel issues, or if the defensive coordinator just unprepared and don't have these guys ready. This is a short week, man. I'm glad we playing again. I don't want to wait till Sunday. Get back out there immediately and learn more or do something. Obviously, y'all had too much time off. Get back out there now, bro.
Do you think if we play Sunday that any of them 3 give it a go? Like, to you, again, they didn't come out with the how bad these guys are injured, right? Ribs, concussion. Do you think it's like pretty bad where they were going to miss it? Like Gainwell, Bradberry, and Reed. Do you think that they're going to miss this game and be back next week? Or do you think it's going to be multiple weeks? Or do you think they would play if it was a Sunday game? What is your take on the extent of the injury in your eyes? Because they both played, right? They got banged up. You saw Reed go to the sideline, but he came back in the game. So them ribs are tender, but like, what's your take on that?
So rib injuries, man, they hurt worse the next day. And then they hurt even worse the day after that. Like as you breathe, it starts hurting. You know what I mean? I think Reed would have played. You know what I mean? I think Reed would have played. I think Gainwell would have possibly played as well. The short week, it forced us to step up. It forced us to scramble now, because now you really got to put a Band-Aid on. You can't talk to your starters. You got to put a Band-Aid on the issue with backups, in a sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? A guy that just was on the practice squad is going to get meaningful minutes in Anthony Morrow in this game. So you really got to go out here and coach. You got to coach. Like we should have came out of New England. No, the side shouldn't have went home. He should have called his wife and kids. Like, I'm gonna be home around Wednesday. I got stuff to figure out. You know what I mean? I got guys that's gonna be hurt. They should have been up till 4:00 in the morning trying to figure out a game plan. You know what I mean? I feel like this is what we did all off season. We put what we wanted to do in the schemes, what we wanted to run. We put them on some type of projector and had a class about it, and didn't run it in no live game action. That's just why you got the product that you got. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but if you showed me how to install a car engine versus then putting me through a PowerPoint presentation, I'm probably gonna remember faster if you show me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I feel like that's why I feel like, man, we got to change our off-season program.
Facts. Eric Stewart with the follow super chat. He said, "Respect to you, bro."
Oh, what's up? What's going on, my guy?
Donnell Shipley with the $10 super chat. LB and Mike, told y'all we need to relax. Things will look up. New offense, new defense, no preseason. We will look better. You really don't know your team until about week 4. As long as we win, fly, Eagles fly. And I totally agree with that statement, right? I agree. I preach all the time. We're 1-0. I rather learn and correct things while winning. But I can't ignore it. I agree. If I had to bet, are the Eagles going to bounce back or eventually become the Philadelphia Eagles we know and love? Or are they going to kind of crumble? I'm betting that we're going to be who we thought we were. But until it's fully seen, because we got to do this 5 days a week. You know, I can't ignore the bad, but I am with you 100%, Donnell Shipley. If I look, when I do my bets this week, I'm taking the Eagles, at home, and I think there could be a blessing to this, right? The coaching staff didn't. If Blankenship is still healthy, right? We probably don't see Sidney Brown against the Vikings. Now, Sidney Brown goes out there and wets the bed. Well, then he knows he needs to get better, right? Just because he's bad in one game as a rookie, don't mean we're gonna say, "Dang, Sidney Brown is a bust." People will say that because people are so quick to say something, right? However, he's a 3rd-round pick. He'll learn. That being said, if Sidney goes out there and just play, is that spark plug, is that hype guy, that guy that just does things that gets everybody else pumped in. The crowd is going off. The Eagles defense start to take over, right? Well, now Desai can't keep him off the field. So again, learning about, look, injuries are never good, but if you're going to get an injury or two, I'd rather have it early than late. You know what I mean? So you never know the future of these guys with today's game. You know, look at Aaron Rodgers, right? You know, you never want to see any of that for anybody, including our own team. But, you know, adversity being faced, give me that week 1, 2, 3. Give me that week 4, 5, 6. I don't want to have to face adversity when we're supposed to be, you know, lining up for the playoffs. And I heard this on the radio, and it was Anthony Garganzo. Shout out to him. There's not too many people on radio stations that I respect, but I like Anthony Garganzo. People act like we play the Super Bowl tomorrow, or not a Super Bowl. People act like the NFC Championship game is tomorrow. I mean, this week. Like this week, we went from the Patriots game week 1, and now we're about to play the NFC Championship. No, we're going to grow as a team. 2 new coordinators, no preseason, as Donnell Shipley said. The NFC Championship is far away. We got to earn her right back there, little by little. As LB said, in the back of my head, they stink until proven otherwise.
Right.
But the championship game is far away. We are week 2 right now, tied in first place in the NFC East and the NFC Conference going into week 2, a little short-staffed on a short week, but it's week 2. It's a big difference.
Right. It's week 2 and we 1-0. You know what I mean? I think it's more pressure on this game for the Vikings than it is for us because, you know, starting 0-2, you don't want to start 0-2 in this conference. So the Vikings going to throw everything at us in the kitchen sink. You already hear Justin Jefferson talk about he remembered that beating last year in week 2. You know what I mean? He was talking about that earlier. So the Vikings are definitely going to give us our best shot. So they're going to be looking at the tape really, really good, trying to see because, you know, this is the notion around the league is we got exposed. You know what I mean? The notion around the league is that the Philadelphia Eagles got exposed. So, you know, what do you do to combat that? You know what I mean? Just remind people who you are for one game. Listen, we not front runners. You know what I mean? This is not a front runner town. This is not a front running organization. We get what we get the hard way. So now we just got to wake people up and remind them of exactly who we are. And smash mouth football is the easiest way to do it. If you ask me, let's see some play action, man. Let's see, you know what I mean? Jalen Hurts, let's just have a nice, easy win. No stress at all. And people going to remember who we are. Too easy. I love it like this, actually.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, though, Mike. Now, my guy that I'm thinking of that will be the blessing in the sky, Sidney Brown is number 2 on my list, but I think it's going to be Christian Ellis, man. I'm telling you, he's going to have that green dot, and I think Christian Ellis is going to be wreaking havoc across the middle of the field. I like his
versatility.
Man.
I like his versatility in covering, dropping back. I think it's going to allow Desai to do a little bit more stuff. Coverage.
He's the best cover linebacker we got on the roster, I think.
I agree. Christian Ellis, listen, I've been talking about, we've been all talking about him all off season. He has the opportunity to show. Josh Jobe, you know, came in when we were healthy last week and saved the day. I was a little upset. In my live stream, right?
And I saw it. You say Josh Jobe was in the game? Yeah, I saw it.
So I apologize to him.
I thought he caught that too. I was about to cut the TV off when I thought he caught that. I was like, damn, it's really? I was about to get ready for this depressing video about the loss.
Yeah, because like you said again, the live streams are in the moment. I don't hold back. And it looked like he was in. And then when I saw Josh Jobe on coverage, I'm like, what are we doing? Then I said he pushed him out. I said, shout out to him, yo, for real. Josh Jobe, he earned my respect. Right. Bald Eagle Guy podcast with another $20 banger. He said, Mike, if you're the OC and I said I would make whatever move for you to make a run for a bowl, what would you say you need? Linebacker or LB the bully? Same question for you. on the defense. All right, so I got to
you
make
want
an
you to do the
offensive
offense?
move. You
Right.
got to make a defensive move. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
To make a run at the Super Bowl, what would the defense need? The defense definitely need a linebacker.
You got a lot more options than me.
Right. The defense definitely need a linebacker. You know what I mean? I feel like as far as safety, because safety would be another option for a lot of people. As far as safety, I think you're just having a personnel dispute. I think it need to be Blankenship and Sidney Brown out there as safety, or you know what I mean. I think Evans should be rotating with Edmonds. But you definitely got to go get a linebacker, man. You got to get
a linebacker in your mind that you think you would be able to snag.
Right now, I don't know. I got to look at who's available free agent wise, man. I'm not really sure, but
or even via trade, right? You could trade up into the deadline. You know what I mean?
You could for trade, hell yeah, I'll be on the phone with whoever got a guy. You know what I mean? It don't really matter. You don't even got to be a big name guy to make an impact on this roster for real. I wanted Bobby Wagner all off season. I feel like you just need an impact guy back there.
He leads the NFL in tackles right now, right? Old man Bobby Wagner, right? He's too old. He leads the NFL. Guess who's in 4th in the NFL in tackles?
Reed.
No, he's in 7th.
Oh, Reed in 7th? Who said 4th?
TJ Edwards.
That's crazy, but that's what TJ Edwards do, though.
That's what he do, right?
I mean? That's what he do. But you know what I mean? Like for real, I don't know. But it was hard to keep Edwards in them. I probably go get Queen. Everybody keep talking about him. You know what I mean? From Baltimore. Yeah, I probably go get Queen, but yeah, you got to make a move there.
My move on offense would be, again, right now, like you're kind of injured at the running back position, but we got a lot of running backs. I'm not gonna go get another running back, right? So I think what I would do is just add another football on the field to get it to our playmakers. I'm just kidding. Now, I probably would.
I know what I would do.
I probably just beef up the offensive line a little bit, just for the simple fact that Jurgens got beat up a little bit. Nothing crazy. Lane Johnson did too, so did Mulata. The running back position is right now like, who are we going to use? Is it going to be Gainwell? Well, guess what? He's hurt. You didn't even play Penny. Swift, you had him in the game, but you gave him one carry. It's a big question mark. So I don't know if I add another running back to the question mark. There's not much. If I'm the OC, I might fire myself. I might give play calling to somebody else.
No, yeah, that's crazy. I was definitely going to say O-line. You know what I mean? I feel like the trenches are healthy. You just want to always enforce that for us, because as long as we got the trenches, we're going to be able to make some moves. Who would you do defensively, though?
Defensively, I'm all like, look, Buddha.
I think he's going to say Buddha.
I'm calling Buddha.
Buddha took the money, though, for the offseason, so.
Well, again, like, I also want to see, like, right now, like, again, your mindset changes to what this team needs as the season goes on due to injuries and whatnot and all that too. But like, if we say we start out 5-0, right? Like, say we get back to being who we are, right? We're not worried about things, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, you make a move for the now, right? Because you can't take anything for granted, right? Look, let's just talk about it a little bit, right? I don't want to put this out there, but like, we were in the Super Bowl last year, right? And there's still a lot of football to be played, but like, this just goes to show you, right? And I still believe it's the running back season, but look what we had to watch. Look at what we had to watch week 1, right? That makes the Super Bowl feel like a distant memory with Jalen Hurts and the offense struggling. Now we had more injuries in week 1 than we had the first 10 weeks of the season. Like, so it's a totally different season. You don't take any season for granted. It's football. It's not like basketball and all that, where it's like a 7-game series. The better team normally wins. Anything can happen any given Sunday. So, I'm maximizing the year 2023. And I think Howie Roseman is on the phone. He's checking things. He's not trying to let us go from what we were and get any worse, right? Because these are the years. The next 2-3 years is to capitalize in Jalen Hurts' contract. It's still going to be friendly year 4 and 5, but 1, 2, and 3 is the friendliest years, right? Then you're going to have to sign Devontae Smith. So this is a year that we need to capitalize, whether it's trading, signing, doing what we do. Hey, when we signed Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, people were like, them wash dogs? Nah, they played a key role. Right? That's all you need to do is get guys to play key roles.
Right. That's it. That's all you got to do. And playing the game that we played last week and winning, I feel really optimistic about the season. You know what I mean? Those are the type of wins that build character. Remember, after we lost to Washington, we had a terrible game against the Colts. You know what I mean? Matt Ryan and the Colts almost beat us. You know what I mean? That was the first game against with Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh because Washington beat us up, you know what I mean, on the ground in week 10. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, these grinded out wins just get you on track. They get you on track. You know, having grind out losses can crumble you. But, you know, I'll take a grind out win. Listen, the Chiefs would switch spots with us. They would rather have had a tough, grounded out win than starting the season 0-1. So, you know what I mean? I can't be nothing but optimistic. We won the game.
Yeah. It really can only get better. And for people saying the Patriots are not that good, watch what that defense does all year. And low key, look, here's what I was saying at the end of my live stream too. What if in the next 3 weeks the Patriots are 3-1? What if the Patriots are 3-1 and their only loss came to Philly? Now we're looking at that game differently, right? We're looking at that game like the Patriots would be undefeated if it wasn't for Philly. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know exactly what the season presents. It's week 1. You're right. You know who else would trade places with us? The Bengals. Right. Another team that, where were the Bengals last year? The AFC Championship, right? So another team that is expected to do big things would trade positions with us for sure. Eric Stewart with a $5 super chat. He said, respect to you as well, bro. Shout out to you. Showing love to both channels. Make sure y'all hit that like and all that good stuff. For sure, we got another one from Steve-O Speaks. He said, what concerns me is we still need linebacker help, preferably a cover linebacker. LB, I got you cut wise if you need a Philly barber since I saw you in the DMV.
Oh yeah, let me know. You still in the DMV?
There you go.
Let me know. Hit me in the DM.
Get that haircut. You know what I mean? Shoot. I ordered Papa John's 2 weekends ago. My guy's like, wait, are you Philly Mike? Like,
it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to get a slice.
I'm all like, cool, you know what I mean? So
the dude that delivered it?
Yes. dude that delivered. He a cool dude. He showed me that he knows me, and he showed me, look, he's like right now I'm watching the Philly Shakedown on Philly 500's channel. He's like, look, and he showed me a couple, like his history. Both me, you're in there too. Yeah. I'm all like, cool. Now, you know, and he probably watching right now. Let me know if you're in the comment section if you're watching. But you know, now he hits me up. We talk a little bit about football and all that because you know they get my phone number when I call for Papa.
Right.
Hey, he a cool dude though. Shout out to him for sure. Purple Sauce with a $2 super chat. Long as we don't play Justin Evans, we good. He was trash.
You know who else was trash too? And that's my dog, bro. Maddox didn't have his best game. Maddox did not have his best game.
He was part of that whole miscommunication. He was like, which way did they go?
No, with the tight end?
Yeah.
With the Gesicki catches the ball, he got time to water the grass, then sprint for 20. He like, damn, ain't nobody around me. No, but Maddox, this is a hot take probably. I think Maddox needs to go to safety. I think if Maddox goes to safety, you can salvage this season. You know what I mean? If Maddox goes to safety, and I thought Job was mainly getting a lot of outside reps. But I don't know what you're going
in the slot.
I can't put Eli there. You know, I like Eli outside with that length and the way that he jump passes. You know what I mean?
Goodrich?
Yeah. I think Mario Goodrich. I think so. I think I would route with Goodrich, but I feel like Maddox might need to go to safety, man. Right for right now. You know what I mean? But I think Sidney can hold it down. We'll see.
Yeah, right now, my mindset is let's see Sidney earn this spot in front of everybody. Prime time, rookie, week 2, filling in for veteran guy who's hurt. Well, Blankenship's hurt. He's not a veteran guy, but probably playing for veteran guys who got beat up. It's his time to show. But yeah, Justin Evans, you know, this didn't look right out there. And then Terrell Edmonds didn't play that much. He came in on 3 safety looks, but he looked a little sluggish too. I'm just like, dang, Edmonds, what happened?
Oh my God, bro. I watched some film of him yesterday, man. he the one that really blew the Gesicki coverage, I think. It was 26, I think. That blew the coverage to Gesicki. Man, terrible when they put Edmonds down there as for the 3rd safety position. Like, where's Sidney Brown?
Yeah, Maddox blew the Douglas one where he was guarding the same guy as Slay for a little bit, and Douglas went outside for like a nice gain of 30. But some of them big chunk yards were on like second and long, third and long, so it was a very avoidable situation as it pertains to not letting Mac Jones get 300. So it's a 300 piece. But I still feel like as long as the Eagles correct their own mistakes, it's not going to be the same easy route to 300. Because if you look at that Juju catch, you look at the Mike Gesicki catch, you look at the Douglas catch, and you look at the catch to the running back out the backfield that was like 42 yards. Take them away, and you're talking about like a 200-yard game, which is like you can't take them away. I understand that. But they weren't like, oh, Mac Jones threading the needle, or it was just simply the Eagles are just killing themselves, like running away from the ball.
Right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I agree wholeheartedly. It was a bunch of self-inflicted wounds because we are the better team. So usually when a better team loses to the team, of a lesser talent, or plays bad against them, you kind of played down to the competition. We should have like smoked those dudes, but we got real issues on the defensive side of the ball, I think, man. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, man, with the injuries that we're going through this week at two levels of the defense, you know what I mean? I just don't feel like that we're going to see a complete night and day turnaround. It's possible, but you know what I mean? It's possible, but we're bringing in new guys. Maybe this could be just what the doctor ordered, but it's rare that you see a night and day turnaround. It's going to take, that's why it's critical to win these beginning games against these teams that you're just talented in. You know what I mean? I thought our first challenge was possibly going to come against the Jets, but don't we play Miami before the Jets?
Yes.
Now that's a challenge based upon what they just
challenge
did.
And a half. You saw. Listen, it's a 1-game sample size. So look, the greatest game, you don't want to get too hype on. The littlest game,
no. I'm sorry.
Tua was slinging a rock.
No, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Tyreek Hill had a deuce. That ain't no 1-game sample size, bro. They locked in over there, bro.
And Tua was
yeah, he had like 440. He feels that it's Ryan Clark's fault. Let's keep it real. When Ryan Clark said what he said about Tua,
fat.
He said he was shaped like a bottle girl at Magic City. He was just wilding on him, and Tua just came out just putting in pain. You know what I mean? It's really Ryan Clark's fault that's now a game for everybody. But yeah, Tua and them and Waddle really was just in the background chilling, so he due for an explosion pause. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, that's some games now. So you gotta win this game. Who we got after Minnesota?
Bucks.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We should beat these guys. That's all I feel.
Yeah, the chat said we play the Jets first, then Miami. So
the Jets first. Okay,
that might help. Real quick,
Miami week 9.
Big Fish Little Boat with a $2 super chat. He said, "Run the dang ball." And look, that's one thing you can do, right? Because Jeff Stoutland is still part of the run game coordination. He's the offensive line run game coordinator. When in doubt, your offense a little stale, run the ball. You still got the Maulers up front. Run blocking is easier than pass blocking. I will say this though, it ain't that easy to run the ball on that New England front. That New England front was doing justice. But this is what I wanted to ask you. I've been wanting to ask you this since like the 25-minute mark, and I keep getting pushed off. And I'm going to ask you it right after the super chat, and I won't forget it this time. Cheese Comics with the $5 super chat. Honestly, I don't think Gainwell is that good. I don't understand our new OC's obsession with him. He is the third most talented back behind Swift and Penny.
I agree. I don't think he's bad. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I agree, but I don't think he's that good. I think Kenneth Gainwell could ball for sure, but he's not more talented than Penny and Swift. You know what I mean? It's just criminal that it's just criminal. That was criminal. That was your choice. You know what I mean? That was criminal to me.
Yeah, and even the Kenneth
shake my head.
Even the Kenneth Gainwell truthers could say, look, even if Kenneth Gainwell had more carries, you don't give Swift just one carry. Like it's unexplainable. But to the question I was going to ask you at the 25-minute mark, the press conference that Sean Desai had, one of the Philly media members, I think it was Zach Berman, asked him about what the Eagles did last year on Justin Jefferson and how they let Slay shadow not the whole game, but the majority of the game. Slay did not play him every single possession, but he lined up with him 18 times. They asked him, are you going to let Slay shadow, especially with Bradberry being hurt? And it's like, one thing is if you got Slay on one side, Bradberry, you kind of feel comfortable. And look, I believe and I trust Job, but Justin Jefferson, like, you don't want your first young man experience up against not just a number one, but probably one of the best guys in the game. What's your take on, do you think Desai will let Slay shadow follow? And would you do that?
I would absolutely do that. You know what I mean? He's the one guy that could, you have no choice. Right, you have no choices. All they're going to do is line him up on the other side of the field and let him devour Job on the outside. They didn't play many slot snaps. Last week, he was strictly on the outside against the Bucks. He had his way. You know what I mean? He clearly had his way. Look at his stat line. You cannot put Job in that. You cannot let Job be fooled. Last time I seen the Philadelphia Eagles let a cornerback be fooled, I think it was I feel like it was somebody going against Megatron or something crazy was happening.
Remember when we had Jaquette against Mari Cooper?
It wasn't that. I think we threw Rasul Douglas to the Wolves when he was young in his career. Who was?
We had a lot of cornerbacks get toes. We could go
right. But like, you can't do that to Job. Do not do that to Job, because Justin Jefferson is virtually unguardable. So just let Slay travel with him, bro. Slay loves to do this. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's Slay travel with him, man. Let everybody else pick up the pieces. Because I think Addison to do him greasy. For real.
Well, we gotta let that match up. I'm gonna take that one. You know, I'm gonna say, look, Job. I mean, you just gotta go out there and do what you gotta do. Look,
that's a bad matchup.
Look, the Vikings threw for the second most yards in the NFL last week, right? Again, will it fully carry over? Thank God we got Kirk Cousins prime time-ish. But again, what did Kirk Cousins do, though? 2 interceptions, and somebody fumbled on that team. I'm not exactly sure who fumbled, but again, if our defense, who forced 2 turnovers, right? Give credit to Big Play Slay for the pick 6, and Jordan Davis, half a sack, 6 tackles, a tackle for loss. My man's getting off blocks and forcing fumbles on Ezekiel Elliott. 2 turnovers in week 1. Let's make it easier, right? Let's get some turnovers out. That will get the confidence up for these young guys or these new guys on defense, whether it's Christian Ellis, Nicholas Morrow getting some PT, rotating in with Zach Cunningham, whether it's Sidney Brown out there as, you know, on an island without his guy Reed Blankenship, whether it's Josh Jobe, maybe Eli Ricks get a crack. All I know is that the defense under Sean Desai, very, very short-handed. They have an opportunity, and it's a tough one in prime time. But you can just like if we go out there and do if we have a performance similar to last year, nobody remembers the Patriots game. Nobody remembers the Patriots game. It's null and void. It's literally counted as a win, and we really talking about that as it was the preseason game. If we come out there and have another prime time victory like we did, because remember, look, check this out. Last year, we beat the Lions by how much?
3.
And guess what? The Lions had the ball at the end of the game. Remember, I forgot what it was. I don't think it was a fumble or something, but we did something stupid at the end of the game last year, too. Gave the Lions back the ball. Now, it was a higher scoring game, 35-38, but we barely beat. Now, look, you know, when we were in that moment, we were like, yeah, we took our foot off the gas pedal, let the Lions come back, but it came down to 1 possession. Lion had a chance. We did something on defense, and we got the dub. Ended up kneeling out. Just like New England. We were all like, sheesh. We weren't feeling as bad as New England because we didn't go like 4 and out 3 times. But guess it's so great that we got the same opponent last year. When we were feeling a little bit down about week 1, the Vikings came into Philly, and we felt a lot better.
I agree. You know what I mean? I think the Vikings, I honestly think that this is not going to go well for the Vikings. I know we got a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, you still got that offense and you still got that pass rush. You know what I mean? The pass rush and that defensive line was really, really good. They didn't let nobody run the ball down our throat. Our defensive tackles, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, and Jalen Carter, you know what I mean? Them 4 guys, they was putting in work. Everybody had a key role in that game yesterday from the interior position. And the guys on the outside, they were just a hair away. They just getting their legs on. Remember, Hassan Reddick really ain't practiced that much. he was just a hair away a couple of times. Josh Sweat got him a sack actually, or half a sack, but he they were just a hair away a lot. And I feel like Kirk Cousins is a statue. Mac Jones will at least scramble a little bit.
Yeah,
Mac Jones will get out of that pocket.
Remember he got away from Carter on that
right.
rollout. Yo, Carter was a hair away 7 times.
Exactly. I had 7 times a hair away. And if Carter is in Kirk Cousins' face like that all day, the interception is going to rain. They're going to rain.
You want to hear something crazy? If Jalen Carter gets a sack tomorrow, he's the first rookie D tackle to get back-to-back sacks in his first season.
Besides Aaron Donald?
Since Ndamukong Suh, who, remember, in his day was generational. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
he definitely was
legit.
Right. That'll be crazy. And if Jalen Hurts wins, I think he'll join like 6 guys that started off that started off 19-1 in their first 20 starts as a starter or something like that. So that's elite company as well. Like not Peyton Manning. I feel like Mahomes on there. There's some elite guys on that list. So it's a lot. This is a good dub. I want this dub. This is a good dub for us.
You see that 10K, right? Jalen Hurts 10K total yards.
Oh, he got 10K total yards already? Who's the fastest player to do it?
I don't know if he's the fastest player, but the Eagles put it out there, 10K and climb in total yards. That's rushing and passing. And he's only been starting for, this is, year 3 starting. So
that's phenomenal.
I like it. Let's get these super chats, touch up a couple things, and we get up out of here. Green Wingman with the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the special teams? Even though Aaron Sipos didn't have a bad game, some of the coverages is still concerned. Jake Elliott was the MVP week 1. Hey, Hurts talked about that too. He was like, I don't really like Jake Elliott kicking because that means we're not doing our job, but give him credit. Jake Elliott did win NFC Special Team Player of the Week. He
missed the extra point, right?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about it.
I'm saying that just proves how critical he was. He kicked some long 50-plus yard field goals for us in that game, right?
4 total. But what's your take on just the special team, like the covering? Like they did have some like 25, 30-yard runs on us.
I don't really think it was a concern. I mean, it's super easy to lose your footing in the conditions that we played in. I got to see them one more. I got to see everything one more time, really, to be concerned.
Yeah.
I know I'm giving the coaches a hard time. You know what I mean? I stand by what I said. I think they need to tighten up. But I ain't mad at special teams. I think Sipos had a good game. Then he kicked like a damn near 60-yard punt at some point in the game. I think he kicked like a really good punt. But yeah, Jake Elliott, well deserved. I need Jake Elliott warmed up though. You know what I mean? Every time he kicks, I get nervous. He ain't automatic.
Facts. It's like, I feel more comfortable when Jake Elliott got to kick a tough one than a gimme sometimes. I don't know. Like he makes gimmies too, but like if he misses, he's missing a gimme more than he's missing a tough
He's pretty good from like 48 and back.
Yeah, I like it. But that's clutch time. That's crunch time. That's clutch time. Right. Shout out to JP Martinez with the $10 super chat. He said, Mike and LB, I want to write this in an apology. I have been rude and or mean to you guys in the comments, and I want to say I am sorry and deeply regretful. We are all bros and sis, and I failed to see that. I don't think he's necessarily been rude, but if you ever believe in a thing called Negadelphia, right? Like whenever I'm positive, he likes to come in the comment section, but like, bro, what are you talking about? It's not true. You know what I mean? He's more the negative side, but I don't take that as legit hate. Like, look, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I love the debate as long as we do it respectful. I don't remember you ever getting too crazy, JP, but hey, I'm glad. You know what I mean? Maybe right there. That's the missing ingredient. Now we're going to come out and really dominate. You were holding us back. You were holding us
Shout out to you, JP Martinez.
Yeah. But nah, look, like when I say I believe this is happening, y'all can say in the comments saying, man, Mike, I don't agree with that. What are you on, right? As long as it's all fun and love. Sports are supposed to be debatable, talking like that. You know what I mean? As long as we watch Skip and Shannon all that time. One day they want to kill each other. The next day they chop it up like nothing, right? But it's all in the love of sports and your take, your stand by it and all that. But at the end of the day, no matter what we say, we're going to figure out who was right. People in the comment section, me, LB, 500, Shakes, Joe Castro, at the end of the day, there's going to be a result, and we just got to get there, right? But at the end of the day, again, as Eagle fans, I don't think Kenny G should be in there. I don't think Swift should be there. I think we should do this. We all just want to win. We have different routes to the dub, but we all want to win, and that's what we do here. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's the game, man. Tomorrow's the game. You got any last things you want to say as it pertains to just one? Hey, it's a big difference being 2-0 and 1-1.
7 sacks for the defensive line. 7 sacks for the defensive line. They will not have an answer for the interior pressure. We're going to be in Kirk Cousins' face all night long. 33-20 birds.
33-20 birds, 7 sacks. All right, chat, let us know your little hot take and score prediction. This will be the last time I chop it up with LB to the game, most likely anyway. So, what was I going to say? I'm going to ask you after. Let me give a little hot take in the score position too, and then we'll get your offensive, defensive player stands out. You know what I mean? We'll do that since we're getting up there too. I'm going to say 3 turnovers. Another like 3 turnover game. Listen, it could come via his sacks. It could come via Josh Joe being in the right place at the right time. We're going to find out, but I got 3 turnovers back-to-back for the Vikings. It's going to play in the Eagles' favor. I got the Eagles scoring, you said 33-20?
33-20, yep.
I got the Eagle. Brian, if it was the old DC, I'd be thinking a 38 burger. I don't know how Brian Flores is going to do it. So I'm going to say 31-23. 31-23.
That is a bad score.
I mean, it's a dub. 31-23, but it's probably not as close as it sounds in the sense of like it's 31-16-ish. You know what I mean? 31-16, 31-15, and they score at the end and make it 23, blah, blah, blah. That's what I got. 31-23. I'll take it 33-20 all day, every day. Let me get your offensive, defensive player who stand out big time when the lights are the brightest. We talking prime time.
Sidney Brown. I think Sidney Brown going to stand out. I think Sidney Brown stands out tomorrow. He's definitely standing out. I think Sidney Brown stands out tomorrow, and I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert.
Oh, the forgotten man, Dallas Goedert coming up big.
Because I know this team. After everybody, Smitty, everybody this week, Dallas is in the game plan this week.
Yeah. Big time.
They might start off with like three passes straight to Dallas.
Screen. I guarantee you two screens coming to Dallas. Got it too. He'd be bumbling with them screens too. A lot of yak. I like that.
And it's crazy that we didn't see any screen. You know how dangerous of a screen team we are right now? We didn't see no screen yesterday. You know what I mean? No screen last week. And you got Jurgens now, who's faster than any guard we've ever had.
You could pull Jason Kelsey and Cam Jurgens in front of a guy like Swift, and we ain't do it.
Right. It don't make sense.
Oh Lord, we didn't even do and Dallas Goedert was crushing the tight end screens last year. Crushing them with all that pressure. Listen, all that pressure that Bill Belichick was doing. You know what? I am really pissed off now that we just talked about it.
Right.
Because think about what they were doing. AJ said it. I saw it on the 22. You don't really see when you blitz 7 guys, you normally play man behind it, right? They were blitzing 7 guys, playing zone, passing each other off, and then rallying to the guy, right? So you blitz everybody. Nobody's playing man. You know how if Jalen sells it right and backpedals and you get all 7 guys semi close to his face, now you got a running back, whether it's Gainwell, Swift, whoever. You got a couple offensive guys blocking, and you only got the 4 guys back there in zone coverage. Like the same way they killed us, that Montgomery screen and the Baldy breakdown where nobody went with the running back and he ran for like 32, 42 yards. So that could have made Bill Belichick back off. 2 screens to the running back. Maybe he says, you know what? Let me stop sending the hounds.
Right. You know what I mean? It's so many ways that you like the flats were just there for the taking. We just wanted to slant people all day. And when you know what I mean? If you keep running slants when guys are jumping off and passing guys off, like, come on, bro.
We were going deep and they were taking away the deep ball, and we were kind of forcing some deep balls too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The protection was good at times in the second half for sure. Jalen Hurts was finding his rhythm. You know what I mean? We were finding things that worked. The quick out, the speed outs, they was killing them because you can't, the zone couldn't drop behind how fast our guys were getting out of their breaks. So, you know what I mean? We were really good in areas, but then, we just started started playing a weird preseason game.
A weird preseason game. I hear you, but we do got the dub. So real quick before we get out of here, LB said he got Sidney Brown on defense. He got Dallas Goedert, the forgotten man. Well, guess what? He got a guy who was forgotten in Dallas Goedert who got targeted only one time with 0 catches. I'm going to the other forgotten man who was on the field 19 times and only got 1 carry. DeAndre Swift, especially with Gainwell being out. I got Swift as my offensive player of the game. I still think Smitty and AJ are going to eat with Goedert. I think AJ is going to Jalen's going to throw the rock, but Swift is going to get, I'm talking close to 100 yards in total offense. He's going to have like 75 yards rushing. He's going to have over 100. Put it that way. 75 yards rushing and about 40 yards receiving. Over 100 for Swift. And on the defensive side, I need this guy to be the defensive player of the game because we need him. We need Slay.
Sydney.
We need Slay.
Yeah.
I need Slay to do what he did similar to last year. It ain't easy to lock up Jay Jettas, but do something similar. I need Slay to take the game over. The pass rush got to come up big too, but I need Slay. I'm going to take Slay and Swift. We going to see. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
Until next time.
You already know. Go Birds.